Because there's 3 levels of communication. The first level is telling people things. Does telling people things work on the whole? Yes or no? I heard a couple of yeses, and that's fine. But mostly it doesn't. Telling people does not work. We do not, as human beings, like to be told things. Because when we're told things, we're not involved. Our own history, our own intelligence is not being honored, is not being taken into consideration. Have you ever found yourselves talking with someone about a problem that you might have? And said, I had this problem, could you help me with it? And immediately the other person has said to you, you know what you should do? How did you feel when that happened? Even though you asked them. For many of us, our backs go up, even though we asked, because we're not involved in the process. Discussion is a more finer way, if you like, of talking with people. But what we tend to do with discussion is that we have a certain openness, but what we're looking for is to agree to a certain extent, but we're looking for various points that we can bring up so we can reinforce our own position. So how do we get around this? How do we move forward? Well, we use dialogue. A dialogue is a more advanced way of talking with people. So we can tell people, or we can discuss things with people, or we can use dialogue. Dialogue is very different, because dialogue requires you to do something brave. It requires you to let go of everything. It requires you to let go of your beliefs. It doesn't mean to say you stop believing, but you let go of them and you start tuning in to where the other person is coming from. And if you're letting your own beliefs, your own desires, your own assumptions, your own prejudices block the flow, you will never ever hear the heart of the other person. And the keys of dialogue are threefold. They're to do with asking questions, they're to do with listening, and they're to do with feeding back. They're to do with clarifying, which is the same as feedback. So the second principle that I work on is this, is that natural selling is not just about questions, it's knowing how to ask the right questions at the right time.